I mean, Kirk Herbstreit, by the way, and I enjoy watching. Well, I did enjoy watching him.
He's great at his job on Saturday morning.
No, right.
I didn't see this story. What happened?
That whole Saturday morning show.
Oh, it's God, the social signaling.
I mean, it's unfortunate because it used to be so good when it was Kurt and Lee Corso.
Lee Corso's a riot.
And, I mean, they've got – it's amazing how many of these former athletes, by the way, are really great on camera. What's his name from Michigan there, who's on there Saturday morning on ESPN? Number one. What's his name? Can't think of his name right now, but he does College Game Day from Michigan.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, the pose, the Heisman pose. What's his name? I can't think of it. Obviously, neither can any of you.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard.
He's great.
He's great. Kirk Herbstreit's great, but I mean, the social signaling and the pandering that they've all turned into is makes it it's unwatchable.
And the echo chamber. And everybody is trying to one-up the next guy on how woke they are. And we've seen their ratings, right? What is it? How does it go? Get woke.
Get woke.
Go broke.
And that ain't no joke.
Speaking of go broke, you see what Disney did? They just filmed that movie Mulan right outside the year internment camps. And they thanked the local CCP and their propaganda ministers and 4 of their major propaganda ministries for all their help in allowing them to make their film there. So Disney, who owns ESPN, it's all part of this. I got blocked by my favorite. I got blocked for the first time on Twitter by Louis Riddick, who I think there's nobody better in football than Louis Riddick. But he was talking about corporate interests, and I'm like, you work for Disney, who has sponsored communism in the CCP party. Don't you think you should look in the mirror?
He got blocked.
He wrote to me, bye, with a laughing emoji, and that was it. I don't get his updates anymore. He's terrific. That's the first time I've been blocked.
I'll tell you if he puts out anything good. Oh, God. I mean, it's just, I don't know. They just can't help themselves. They can't. They not only can they not help themselves, but none of them have any interest, or at least they won't say it, openly, of actually looking at what the facts are, of the actual data, what they're talking about. I mean, this whole thing started, if I remember, with George Floyd and police murdering African-American men, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the last I heard. It's not that anymore? Did they change it again?
And we all agreed that what we saw in the George Floyd thing was a disaster. And we all agreed on that.
Yeah.
We all talked about it at the time. We all said pretty much the system has run its course there. Now, whether Keith Ellison overcharged it, we'll find out. Now it'll be a whole nother round of...
oh, yeah, they'll unleash that story. When they let him off, then they'll just have another reason to burn the city down.
But since then, we're so far away from anything resembling protesting. I mean, again, we talked to Walter Williams on this show. We've talked to Pastor Darrell Scott. We've talked to all kinds of people about the actual numbers. Read Heather McDonald. If you ever really have an interest in really knowing, is there systemic racism? Do police murder more black men than white men? What are the actual numbers, if that matters anymore? I don't know that it does to most people, maybe not. But if you do, read Heather McDonald. Go to City Journal, which is one of the great sites with great writers, besides the Federalist, is cityjournal.org. And go read Heather McDonald. She's got every piece of data, every number you could ever want to know on policing in this country. And trust me, what they're all talking about is non-existent in the numbers. It does not exist. So,
well, not even going back to the numbers, but really with the Kirk Herbstreit thing and the ESPN thing. I mean, here's a guy, he's trying to equate this whole, where this whole thing started from George Floyd to now these, I'll say it, pampered athletes. When you're talking about football players in college, you're talking about the cream of the crop that made it there, that are on scholarship. They have private tutors. They have private, catering that's brought to them. They don't live like the other kids on campus, and he should know that. But for him to sit there and be like, well, stop, because once these kids enter the system of elite college sports and they're in those locker rooms, they are treated like above everybody else. So for him to sit there and be like, oh, you don't know the struggle. No, you don't know the struggle of the regular kid who may be working to put himself through school, who has to, buy a meal plan, put it on a credit card, and have to pay it off years later. You don't know that struggle. You don't know what the parents are doing to try and push their kid through school that they can't afford, but they're trying to, kind of meld things together. But he's trying to sit there and be like, well, you got to feel the pain of these pampered elite athletes who are going to go off to pro careers and just pander to it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well put. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we've talked about this on this show too. None of these athletes, LeBron James, Curry, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, none of them. Has Greg Popovich or any of them ever said, we need more African Americans. I'm going to step down and let them take my job. Yeah. Or I'm gonna take less of a salary so we can hire more. Have any of them ever done anything like that or even talked about it?
Man, the whole fixation on the race and not the content of character is all Marxist agenda. It's all it is.
Roger Goodell says he's going to be okay with because they've got to do a better job. Well, why doesn't he step down from $40 million a year and give it to let somebody else?
Yeah.
Let there be the first African American commissioner of the NFL. That'd be great if there's someone qualified.
You heard
But he won't do that.
Whitlock said what we would say on this show. We'll talk about it, next sports segment. But Whitlock said exactly what I said about infrastructure.
Whitlock, Clay Travis, Marcellus Wiley, the only people who make any sense in sports anymore.